Hey guys, so today we're going to be taking a look at Rainbow Max Link's full power Super Saiyan 4 limit breaker Vegito here as part of the Dragon Ball Heroes collaboration celebration. I am a few days late to cover this. I apologize, just way too much stuff going on in Dragon Ball Legends Fest stuff I have to cover. But I did not forget about Dokkan. Don't worry, we are always going to be covering everything that comes out with Dokkan. I still enjoy making these videos, and that will not stop anytime soon. By the way, for those of you who are only tuning in for the Dokkan content, this is going to be the first video where I'm recording this on my new phone, which should fix a lot of the quality issues. I think the quality issues were a lot less noticeable in Dokkan as opposed to in Legends, but there should be a pretty noticeable increase or upgrade in quality with this video as opposed to the prior Dokkan videos, so hopefully you're able to notice that. Okay, so this, because I didn't do a 55% video going over these characters, which I guess I could have done, but with how easy these characters are to pull, mostly, I guess, besides Broly for me, for whatever reason, my summon video, we're going to break down the character first, and then we're going to jump into an event to show the character off. So in terms of what I plan to do with the hero stuff, I'm going to do a video on this character, then I'm going to do a video on Super Saiyan 3 Rose, and then I'll do one video on Golden Metal Cooler because I really wanted to show him off as well. And then we will be jumping into the Heroes Red Zone stages. So we have quite a few Dokkan videos to go through. I'm going to be recording these all in one sitting here, so let's go ahead and get started. So Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Vegito, easily the best character out of the batch, I would say. And honestly, one of the best characters in the entire game. They did a phenomenal job with these units. All right, so leader skill is Dragon Ball Heroes, Giant 8 Power, or Fused Fighters, category Ki +3, and HP attack and defense 170, 30% additional buff to crossover category characters, so every single Heroes collab character is going to fit under this leader skill. Super attack is the Galactic Spirit Sword. This does immense damage and raises attack for 1 turn, so he does not end up getting defense on this, but if he actually got defense on, I guess maybe they could have done it, but he would be he would actually be like next level insane if he had defense on this. It would have been ridiculous. All right, so the passive skill, the Sword That Cuts Through Darkness, activates the entrance animation upon the character's entry once only, and chance of performing a critical hit plus 30% and reduce damage received by 30% for 6 turns from the character's entry turn. Very powerful, and you know, with the worldwide celebration giving us essentially only shorter content stages, this is going to be a very effective entry animation buff for those new Dismal Future Red Zone stages. Very, very strong. He gets Ki +3, attack and defense plus 200%, just baseline. So with him being a TUR, with him being usually ran on the Heroes team, you're really never going to struggle for Ki with this character. Very good. Then he gets an additional attack and defense, 150% when performing a super attack, just ridiculous numbers. Then he gets an additional attack and defense plus 100%, and a great chance, a 70% chance of launching an additional super attack when there is another Giant 8 Power or crossover category ally attacking in the same turn, or a Giant 8 Power or crossover category enemy. So just more stats, and then a 70% chance to launch an additional super, which we'll see how lucky we get with that. My favorite mechanic, 70% chance to super. And then he has a chance of performing a critical hit plus 40% and reduces damage received plus 30% when all allies attacking in the same turn are Giant 8 Power or crossover category enemies. So when you combine those two things with the entry buff, he has a 70% chance to crit and 60% damage reduction for the first 6 turns. That is insane. Assuming you're running him, of course, on the crossover or Giant 8 Power team. Next, we are going to take a look at the active skill. The Galactic Eternal Sword can be activated when all allies attacking in the same turn are crossover category allies starting from the 3rd turn from the start of the fight, or starting from the 6th turn from the start of battle. So that's basically if you're running this character on the Giant 8 Power team, which I think actually could be pretty good. He would then be able to use this from the 6th turn, which is not horrible, right? We've seen way worse active skill conditions than this. And so what this does is this greatly raises attack temporarily, causes ultimate damage to the enemy, and it makes sure that all of his attacks in that turn are critical hits. This thing should hit very hard because this active skill actually serves as a dual functioning mechanic here. Number one, it's going to deal major damage. And the reason why it deals so much more damage than you would expect is because this is going to trigger that extra 150% attack and defense when performing a super attack. And so that sort of you know, leads into the second function, which is this active skill can actually serve as allowing this character to perform a slot 1 defensive role, because this is going to trigger his 150% extra defense he gets when performing a super attack. So his additional defense will be active, so you can just put him in slot 1 and he potentially could just eat basically anything in slot 1 after using this active skill. So I think a good strategy to entail, which we might end up using in the stage we're about to jump into, is when we get this active skill, you just use it and you put him in slot 1 and he should be good to tank anything. Next we have the build that I went for him. So because this character already has a 70% chance to crit for the first 6 turns, I didn't really feel it was worth giving him any crit at all. Now you could make the argument that if you're going into a longer stage like the Omega Shenron fight, which for some reason still is not on global, you know, his entrance animation buff will run out, and then he'll only have a 40% chance to crit. But I think even with that in mind, I would rather just focus more so on additional and dodge. The reason why I went so much dodge on this character, which I usually don't do for like mega offensive units like this, is because typically what you're going to want to do with this unit is pair him up alongside the physical EZA Super Saiyan 4 Vegito, which of course we're going to be using next to this character in the showcase. And the thing with that is that neither of those characters are slot 1 units. And I think what that means is a lot of the time you're going to be putting this guy in slot 1, even on the turns where you're not using the active skill. And so having the extra dodge there to potentially give you a, you know, decent chance of avoiding a bunch of incoming damage maybe before this character is able to attack, I think could be useful. I was actually really hoping that they might give the physical Vegito some like turn or slot 1 defensive capabilities. Like maybe he has extra damage reduction before he attacks, similar to like the LR Vegito Blue character. But neither this character or the physical Super Saiyan 4 Vegito are traditional slot 1 characters, but this guy has such a ridiculous passive that I feel like even just his damage reduction on top of the fact that he has such very high defense innately could be okay in allowing him to sit in slot 1. But I think dodge could help him fulfill that role even better. And then of course additionals there just because damage. I like to see big numbers, period. That's it. That's the reason. I did give him a fair bit of defense as well. Same exact reasoning as to why I gave him dodge. I actually did bust out a level 7 defense bronze equip. I felt like this is a character that I would have a lot of fun using and get a lot of mileage out of this, so gave him that. Gave him a pretty good silver equip as well, 5 dodge and 1 additional, and then I gave him a level 4 dodge and 2 defense for the Time Traveler gold equip. So he has a lot of extra defense here. He's actually sitting at 12,458 defense. So we should be looking pretty good. Links, of course, we have Super Saiyan, Shocking Speed, Prepare for Battle, Power Bestowed by God, Fuse Fighter, Saiyan Roar, and Fierce Battle. Really, really solid link set. And then we have the categories. We'll just quickly go through these. Dragon Ball Heroes, Giant Knight Power, Fuse Fighter, Crossover Batara, Full Power, Time Travelers, Triangle Trump Card, Battle of Wits, Defenders of Justice, Time Limit, Accelerated Battle, and Power Beyond Super Saiyan. And then, of course, we are going to be running him on the Dragon Ball Heroes team, the crossover team. Again, I am going to be doing a separate showcase video for Rose, but I felt like it was probably still worth including him on this team anyway because he's very good. With that said, the friend is very similar to mine. He's a similar build. He's got defensive equips. He's got a lot of dodge, a lot of additional, and he is link level 10. So I don't think there's going to be a ton of difference between our 2 units here. So we are going to jump into the Cell Max fight. I think this is actually a pretty good fight for showcases, for characters that don't need to build up in any way, right? This Vegito, the thing that's good about this character as opposed to a lot of other, you know, Dokkan Fest or LRs, is we enter the fight turn 1 and he's already maxed out, right? So we don't need to jump into like the Frieza stage or the Cell stage to show this character's full potential. We just jump into anything and he's already ready to go. So let's go ahead and jump in. I apologize for the long intro here, but I wanted to make sure that I explain everything that there needs to explain about this. Okay, so we actually had really bad rotations, so I just restarted that. Okay, I mean, this is still bad, but it's better than the last one. So the last run, we had both Limit Breaker Vegitos on the same rotation. And the physical Vegito was on the other rotations, but they rotated them off, and it took forever. Didn't get them together until like turn 5, so let's go in with this. And we should be good to go here. This should be a cakewalk. Oh yeah, those global voices. Gotta love it. Okay, so he is attacking once in the front and then once after we get to hit him one time. I think we'll... I mean, we're floating off Rose here, but this is fine. I mean, obviously, so we're going to have 0 links active for Vegito here, but remember, Vegito still has 60% damage reduction with his entrance animation buff active here. So even though his defense is rather low before he attacks, I mean, he's still got 60% damage reduction. So he should still be fine here against Cell Max. So we will want to make sure I get Robel the most amount of rainbow orbs. I think let's do this, and then we'll be able to get her 4 rainbows. That's actually really good. 100k defense, obviously not the greatest, but she's gonna get a lot on super. 120. Okay, Rose will do this. And on turn 3, we'll be able to unleash the beast here. All right, this super shouldn't do that much unless, like, what, 50k or something? 75? Yeah, it's not bad at all. So yeah, very low attacks. I mean, this is Vegito with 0 links, 0 support. He didn't even get the addition. Oh my god. You notice how unlucky that was? You will literally never see this character in a worse situation than this. 0 links, 0 support, no crit, and he didn't get the additional. You're about to see the biggest, like, ever upgrade on turn 3 from him. He's literally going to be doubling his attack stat. All right, so what do we got here? Oh. Forgot about Dark Mask King. Dark Mask King's just gonna heal us to full. Toa has 30 dodge, so she should be fine. Let's do this. Let's do this. And then let's do that. Toa's also gonna be stacking her defense whenever she dodges, so yeah, go ahead. Dark Mask King he's gonna heal us to full HP, so doesn't matter. That's 9 damage. All right, full HP, thanks. Oh, there's additional. I think he only has like 6 additional. I gave him max crit. There we go. 4 million crit. Yeah, so on this turn, I believe he healed us around 650,000 HP, Dark Mask King, which is actually more HP than we even have. So he's pretty stupid. I'm pretty sure they didn't play test him when they gave him his EZA, because they actually gave him offense in his EZA, right? He gets attack when he gets hit. I think they gave him more, right? Because I don't think he had as much as he did prior to his EZA. So I think they literally just forgot to playtest him because he's way too good. All right, nice Toa. Yeah, that's why I gave her 30 dodge, and now she's going to take nothing because she builds up her defense whenever she dodges. Okay, here we go. This is the turn that we wanted. Where's the super at? Super is after we attack. Okay, so this is going to be a good opportunity to show, again, what I talked about in the intro, which was the fact that you can use the active skill as a way to buff up Vegito's defense to put him in slot 1. So let's just make believe that Cell Max was supering right away. And let's also make believe he wasn't int. So physical Vegito would not serve as a very good slot 1 character here. Look at Vegito's defense right now. It's at 343,000. Let's go ahead and pop the active skill, and let's go ahead and recheck how much defense he gets to. Okay, nice 7.7 million crit. And with the active skill being activated, his defense jumps up to 859,000. So, yeah, that is a lot. He has 859,000 defense with 60% damage reduction. And he's doing insane damage. Remember, this turn he has guaranteed crits. So he just crit for 7.7 million. He's about to bust out like a 14 million attack stat, and he can do 3 of those, all crits. This is a big time character. This is no joke. This is actually like New Year's dual Dokkan Fest level. That's what this character is. Okay, let's put him in slot 1 and let's just allow him to dissect this boss for us. Let's give Robel let's do this actually. That will force Robel to grab the rainbow orbs. No, we got so unlucky. It actually dropped physical orbs there. Okay, whatever, it's fine. 3 is still good. All right, and then he opens up with a 13.5 million attack stat. Remember, this is only attack number 1 of a potential 3 here. There's a crit. There's second super for 14.2 million. All right, and there's the third one. So nice casual 40 million attack stat where we crit on every single one. And then he also did his active skill, and he's also immortal. Seems pretty good. But yeah, that's pretty much the character. There's not really much else we need to show about him. Like I said, this is not a character that really builds up over time, so we see his peak right away. Especially when you pair him up next to this physical Super Saiyan 4 Vegito. They just make for a ridiculous partnership. And they definitely did a really good job of making sure that that physical Vegito's EZA was very good. Because a lot of what that Limit Breaker Vegito is doing is off the back of that insane support that he's getting from the physical one. Remember, the physical one is giving 30% stats to Giant 8 Power, and then 30% stats to Crossover, I believe it is. So he's getting 60% support from that Vegito alone, plus he's sharing 6 out of 7 links with him, so that partnership together is ridiculous. All right, why don't we go ahead and just pop this, and then I think we're going to go ahead and finish Cell off on this turn. At least we should. Yep, same exact number there. We can just put him in slot 1. Right, doesn't matter. He's got a bunch of defense. He has 60% damage reduction, and then we could just do this. Who has more links with this? Who only has 1 link there? Yeah, we could just do that. That's fine. Okay, well, pretty easy run here through Red Zone Cell Max. Let me know down below what you guys think of Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Vegito. Absolutely ridiculous character. Like, you compare this guy to the Heroes characters we received last year, it's almost as if they had an epiphany and they realized that, hey, we should actually make these characters good. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will see you all in the next one.